"You still okay to guard Axel tonight?" It was a loaded question, and Reese pinned me with his look as I entered the kitchen. He didn't inject any alpha power into his voice, but his eyes boring into mine had pretty much the same effect. Or maybe it was the fact we'd been best friends way before he became alpha. Either way, I stopped and leant against the door. "Yep, I'm good." I'd guarded Axel for 3 out of the last 5 nights. I'd be on guard duty every night if I had my way, but for one, Axel would not be happy if he found out, and 2, there was no way Reese would let me. The conversation about what had happened was still happening between me and Axel had been a long time coming. That didn't mean I wanted to have it any time soon, though. Reese had given me space to come to him in my own time, as long as it didn't affect pack dynamics, and I'd gone out of my way to ensure it hadn't. But maybe it was time. Maybe talking to my best friend or my alpha was what I needed to get through this. And over him. Reese took a seat at the table and gestured for me to join him. He'd already made tea and set 2 mugs down between us. "After tonight, I want you to take the next 3 nights off from guard duty." "No, I'm fine." It wasn't a suggestion. There was the trace of power that made me want to both snarl and bare my throat. What was wrong with me lately? Up until recently, I'd never reacted that way to Reese's orders. But then again, he'd never had to resort to using that tone with me before either. He smirked at my reaction and pointed a finger at me. "That right there is the reason you need to step away for a bit." I wanted to huff, roll my eyes and tell him I had no idea what he was talking about. I did none of that though, because I'd never outright lied to Reese, and I never would. "I can handle it." His gaze never left mine, but it took him a good few seconds to answer. "I don't doubt that, but at what cost?" "What do you mean?" Reese stood and closed the kitchen door, a signal for anyone else currently in the house to not listen in on this conversation. "Axel is in danger." He stated it matter-of-factly, but those 4 words set my whole body on edge. My wolf, so dangerously close to the surface, stirred and prowled under my skin, a promise of the coiled strength poised to burst out at my command. I wasn't all that surprised when my tongue caught the sharp edge of not-quite-human teeth. It happens so often these days, I barely noticed the pain. And yes, okay, I saw Reese's point, even if I didn't like it. Reese sighed and set his forearms on the table. "I know I said you didn't have to tell me what was going on between you and Axel, but that was before. Ever since Dathau told us about the possible threat to Axel's life, since our pack began sharing guard duty with him, I've watched you struggle.